Okay, I see. Seems that we are live now. It takes a couple of minutes until I will see our live stream in YouTube. But still, I know that a lot of people who wanted to join this live stream, they are already watching us. So I welcome everyone to another pre-IDO live IMA session with amazing project Arcade Network, and I'm extremely excited finally to greet the CEO and co-founder at Arcade Network, amazing female founder, Chinka Gupta. Hi, Chinka.
Hey. Hi, Nelly. Hi, Stan. Nice to
Hi,
be
Chin.
here and excited to meet you guys.
Thank you for joining us. And of course, everyone knows Stan, who is CTO and co-founder at Scaleswap launchpad. Hi, Stan.
Hi, guys. Hi, Nelly. And of course, everybody knows Nelly, who is our Chief Venture Officer and amazing host.
Thank you. And before we jump into the questions from the community, from the live chat, by the way, guys, I remind you, send your questions to the live chat in YouTube, and we will also answer questions that you've sent previously to our Telegram and Twitter channels. But for the beginning, Chinka, could you please just make a brief intro for the community about Arcade, about Big Vision? What are you building, and why do you think this interoperability for the metaverse sector is so crucial right now in nowadays, so needed?
Sure, Nelly. I would love to do that. And so before I do that, just a bit background about myself. So I come from blockchain, majorly enterprise blockchain domain. I had been working in majorly enterprise blockchain for the more than last 7 years. I have worked with some big companies out there, Accenture, PwC, KPMG, and then there are some small projects also that I took up. So I started off this journey as a developer, and hence that kind of helps me to understand the technical aspects of blockchain as well. Now coming, in my journey, I had actually worked with majorly with projects which wanted to implement blockchain to bring in some utility. And I worked with banking products, I worked with insurance products as well, even trade finance products. Now, majorly, I have seen that blockchain technology is awesome, right? People are using it, but then in some of the domains, it really doesn't make sense. So I think why not use the technology where it is actually giving you some value? So I just having worked in all these domains, I understand that there are standardizations in the industry, right? Even when let's say if banks want to talk to each other, they if I want to transfer you sitting in some other part of the country, me in some different part, our banks can talk to each other because they follow some standard protocols. They follow the Swift protocol, for that matter. Gaming is such an industry which is huge, has got huge potential, but then there are still some great opportunities which are unlocked because the gaming industry is not standardized. That's what we feel, or that's what I feel, and that's where we wanted to bring in and use blockchain to basically standardize the gaming industry. And nothing better than NFT standards or ERC standards which are involved in blockchain. So I think that's what the vision is. So basically, we want to standardize the gaming world. We want to. So the two problems that we are focusing on is there is no true ownership of the gamers. With the games. So if you're playing a game, let's say you purchased a gun in the game, you purchase that, but that gun goes away when the game goes away. So that means you wasted your money over there, but then it actually is not yours. So I think using technology, what you can do is you actually can purchase the guns, you actually can purchase these assets and make sure that these remain with you even after the game goes away. So hence, this is something which had been in our mind, which we wanted to start off the project with. And technically, to start off with, metaverse industry was the one that we chose chose somewhere in like June 2021. We started off with this thing. We were very bullish on metaverses, and Facebook coming in, turning itself to Meta, actually nailed it. The perfect timing for us as well. And so I think, yeah, I mean, so we to start off with, we know that metaverses are gonna be the future, and bringing in this ownership and interoperability in the metaverse world to start off with our gaming vision is something that we wanted to do, and that's what we are doing.
Cool, really cool.
Yeah.
By the way, I also liked the way how you present the standardization of games. So this is something new to me. Because in reality, gaming needs standardization if you want to scale, right? If you want to make this, as you say, next step. And because your main product or the product what you start, in my sense, it's a bridge between Metaverse. Maybe you can describe this a bit more, bit in detail, how it's supposed to work.
Yes. So the product is basically a relay bridge. So the vision is basically two things: to bring interoperability in the gaming world, and as I mentioned, to start off with this, that's like a revolution. It could seem that I'm talking too much in the air and talking, about two big things. So, and I understand that, and that's why you might want to bring in this revolution, but then eventually you'll have to start from somewhere, and that's where we chose that we are going to start off with the metaverses, wherein we are building this bridge which could actually connect the metaverses. And when I say it's connecting the metaverses, it means that metaverses can exchange their data, and they can like talk to each other. And when I say talk to each other, it basically means they are exchanging digital assets among each other. And when they can exchange or transfer their assets amongst each other, that means you are bringing interoperability in this world. So that's what our bridge does. Bridge is nothing. I mean, it's basically bridging the two metaverses, and at the end of the day, it's nothing but technical APIs and SDKs that we are developing that can be plugged into these metaverses. And once they plug in that, their assets become liquid, and they can, gamers can move these assets among different metaverses.
Okay, so your big vision is not to produce, let's say, front end for customers, but rather an infrastructure for the metaverses, and they can use your technology as kind of infrastructure to enable the transfer of assets. Or you also have envision to have a front end on your, let's say, own platform to shift the assets between metaverse.
I think, okay, so to answer it, eventually this is the core of the product. You actually got the gist of it, basically an infra for the metaverses. But eventually, to add on more values to it, there has to be a front end, there has to be a platform where users can come in, and when I say users, these are like gamers. So okay, then it takes me to another story. So maybe I'll take 2 more minutes. So the two stakeholders for the product, which are going to use the product, are going to be the metaverses, for which we are building these APIs, and the other ones are going to be the gamers. So these gamers basically are the users of these metaverses. So we are, Arcade Network platform is going to have a front end. It's going to have a UI where gamers are coming. They're provided a portfolio there. They see that, I as a gamer, when I go in to Arcade Network platform, I log in. The thing that we are focusing on is basically to make it such hassle-free for the gamers that even non-crypto gamers should be attracted to the platform. And when we do that, they log into the platform, and they see that, let's say, this are the assets that we have collected from these metaverses. They see it all under one roof. They simply click on one asset. Let's say, I click on one sword. They click on the button export, and they literally export that sword from one metaverse to another, provided these metaverses should be actually using our APIs, or should be onboarded using our APIs. Yeah.
Okay, got ya. So let's say I see one challenge at this kind of product is that the metaverses should have, let's say, similar assets, right? For example, if I have one metaverse with kitties and another metaverse is a shooter, um, it's hard, right, to transfer a clone of kitties to the shooter metaverse. So it should suffer, they should have some similarities within game mechanics. Or am I not right here?
Yeah, you're right. So ideally, yes, they should have some similarities to actually accept assets from other metaverses. I mean, ideally, if I want to, now the idea is, let's say if I am a gamer and I want to transfer my sword from this game to another game, then obviously it would make sense for me to take this sword not to a racing metaverse, because I myself know that, to a racing metaverse the sword doesn't hold any value, or doesn't hold any use case. So I'll actually be taking it to a metaverse wherein sword is supported, right? And
Mhm.
that's what the front end that you were mentioning, it helps you. I mean, it basically allows you to pick, it picks the metaverses which are supporting sword for you. You pick out of them, or you choose out of them that, let's say I get 50 metaverses wherein Sword is supported. I pick one out of those 50 and I export. Other metaverses which are not supporting that Sword use case, either, they'll, now that's up to them. Either they'll have to change themselves, or do something. If they want to increase their business, they'll have to actually support a Sword use case.
Mhm.
um, uh, or other things would be that, simply, if they are like, they have totally have a different domain, then something that suits your domain would actually be able to transfer to them.
Mhm.
Okay.
Uh, we also have quite a number of questions collected in Telegram community, and many people were asking, what is your go-to-market strategy, and what is your type of collaboration with the different metaverse startups or projects that are listed on your website? So how do you work with them?
Um, when we started this project, honestly, we had to partner up with metaverses because we wanted to understand that how these metaverses are built. Until you know about the product, how would you create the infra about the product? That's kind of supporting the product. So one of some of our initial partnered metaverses, which are listed on the website. Now, other than these, there had been many partnerships which had been, which had been closed, till today. But then eventually we would be making official announcements, maybe next week. We are kind of busy in our IDO right now. So, and, so our strategy was to basically partner up with these metaverses, see what exactly are their structure. The idea was that, initially we had to actually, organize some dev calls, or some technical calls with them to understand that, okay, how can we integrate our APIs into their structure. As and when we move forward, we came up with a, we came up, we went more towards generalization. We went towards creating something generic, which would actually help, these metaverses to pick in our APIs and plug in into them. And the partners, if you mention, some of the big partners that we already have are like Vulcan Forged. These, this metaverse is like, they had been doing great, and this is something which we, these are like our initial partners as well. They totally believed in us, and we started off our implementation, actually doing some feasibility tests and creating the MVPs with them. I think in the metaverses, which are, if you see, the trend of metaverses has just taken a boom after, this Meta announcement. So the metaverses, now I understand that there are hundreds of, metaverses out there, which might be, so as we are talking here, there might be hundred of metaverses which are already, they've already like taken a form or an idea, or something like that. So in the phase of their development, if they want to get into our APIs, that's even better for them. But if we talk of the bigger ones, or the ones already established, then ideally, yes, you just like, you're using any other third party service API, you get on a call with them, right? You get on a call with tech team, you understand that, okay, this is how, they tell you this is how our APIs would be plugged in to your metaverses. And that's what I think we would also do, or we are also doing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, I fully agree. It seems that you have a huge market, considering that right now every second startup pitching to us as well is some metaverse, and
Right.
the sector is on hype, definitely. But if we speak about Arcade network value proposition, is it applicable for all the metaverses that are on the market, or you are seeking for specific use cases? So either early stage metaverses that don't have enough infrastructure yet, or something other?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, the early stage or the budding metaverses, if you are just in your ideation phase and you just have started, you have different ideas. I think metaverses are going to be the future. Uh, they are actually, something wherein you actually can bind in a lot of opportunities and values. So if they are somebody who are just budding in, and if they've just started, they can always reach out, and things would be even easier for them, as I mentioned. um, but then your question was that, are all the metaverses gonna come and join us, or use the APIs, or is it like specific? So no, I mean, it's not specific to any use case or any domain. Rather, what we are doing, it all has to take into consideration the fact that they are crypto metaverses. That's what we are supporting as of now. We have plans of taking in consideration non-crypto metaverses as well in future, like the ones in Epic Games. So, but right now, all they have to make sure is that they are crypto metaverses and they are using NFTs as the digital assets, and that's it. They just plug in our APIs, and their users can transfer their assets from one metaverse to another.
Interesting. I just caught myself on a question: what is the difference between a game and a metaverse? Because it's so similar things, right? So is there a difference? Have you thought about this? So a game and a metaverse.
Okay, I mean, if you ask me infra-wise, we did our research on that as well. So if you ask me infra-wise, obviously, games are more concerned towards graphics. The better the graphics, the better the UX, the better the game is. Games usually, they have their own tools and their own engines. So games usually are built on Unreal engines, right? Which is like totally a different domain or different technology, or I would say different tool. If you are asking about metaverses, and now this is something which I feel a lot of people have their own definitions of metaverses. I see it as this way. This is a virtual world that you want to create. So, and now there are obviously layers. It depends on basically what exactly is the UX, or what exactly are the technologies or the layers that you want to use in. But ideally, what I would say, the difference is basically, it's altogether a universe or a virtual universe that you want to create. You're mapping it, or you're providing some values to it. And my take on it is, why are metaverses booming suddenly, is because these are these are basically the I would say the games which are holding instant values and opportunities for you, and that's why they're booming up. So you have users, they're going in, they're purchasing NFTs, they're trading, they're doing anything they want. So I mean, the plethora of values that these metaverses are bringing in, that's what make them a metaverse, I think.
I think even a metaverse can allow you to play your own game, right? To live your own life within the game, where in the game you play for somebody else. You can be, for example, somebody else, but in the metaverse you can be yourself, but in the meta world. And there you need, of course, assets like clothes and different things what you can tokenize, and then the bridges like you develop are necessary. So without these bridges, there is no metaverse, because if you use the bridges, you can imagine all metaverses like one big metaverse.
They're like, yes, to add on that, they're like, I mean, it's like your virtual mapping of the space that you have created. The space and time you are creating a virtual mapping, and hence they can be extended to any extent. That's the beauty.
Great. No, cool. Nelly?
Okay. We also have a lot of questions about the whitelisting campaign for the IDO on Arcade Network. And I remind to everyone that IDO is literally in a few days on 2nd of December, this week, in how many? 1, 2, 3 days? No,
3 days, right?
3 days, yeah. Just 3 days. So many people are asking when whitelisting starts, how to participate, etc. Stan, maybe you can elaborate a little bit more.
Yeah, sure. So guys, this specific IDO was planned in a short time, because normally we announce an IDO at least almost 2 weeks before the IDO, but this one was announced very shortly because we liked the idea and the project. For this IDO, we take a road where only our, let's say, ScaleSCORE holder can participate. It's not open to everybody, it's open only to ScaleSCORE holder. On the one hand, because of the rather small allocation in comparison to other IDOs. On the other hand, because we want to test this new format where, let's say, our loyal community member are rewarded by participating in such cool IDOs. And yeah, so I believe that every our ScaleSCORE holder understands and knows how to apply for whitelisting, because they did this already several times. After our AMA, I believe within 2 hours, we will post a whitelisting and KYC campaign, and you can just start. KYC will end at 1st of December, and the IDO is then on 2nd of December. So just our straightforward process. And of course, if you want to be, if you want to have guaranteed participation in this IDO, you need to be one of the first 250 people. And for this, you need to groom your ScaleSCORE. Simple it is.
And what about the private pool? So here we have only one pool in Arcade Network, right?
Yes, only private pool. Yes, as I told you, only one pool, only for ScaleSCORE holders, not for the public, because of the small allocation for this IDO. And all our ScaleSCORE holders need to do, as usual, KYC. And then they will be ranked based on the ScaleSCORE, and top 250 participants have guaranteed participation for 15 minutes. This is our first batch, 250 people, 15 minutes. If the pool is not filled by this first batch, then next 50 people are coming to the pool. And normally all our private pools are closed within the second batch.
The user crypto rules is writing his 170 right now rating. So yeah, you still have a chance.
You still have a chance, but guys, very important, because we had these problems also at our last IDO. As many people wants to join specific IDO, Arcade Network in this case, they all start to improve the ScaleSCORE, and it means you compete against each other, and your rank can change very fast. Today you could be 170, but if tomorrow new people will join for ScaleSCORE, you can be 200. And we cannot influence this because you compete. It's a kind of gamification within our platform. You compete against all other people who want a guaranteed participation.
Mm-hmm. Another question I see now in Telegram community is about the listing strategy. So can you please elaborate a little bit more, Chinka, about your listing strategy after the IDO is finished?
Yep, we are planning to list on PancakeSwap, so DEX listing and centralized exchange listing as well. For the DEX listing, we are going to do it on PancakeSwap, and it shall be, I think it'll be after. So the tentative date that we have in mind or that we have in plans, where we're still considering with the centralized exchanges as of now. So the tentative date is going to be 6th of December, and the listing date. And the same day, we are going to do the CEX listing as well. And official announcements regarding the centralized exchange and exact time, exact date will be done soon, maybe by tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But the exchange itself, you can't disclose yet, right?
Yes, the exchange we cannot disclose. I think we shall soon be, maybe in a couple of hours, they might be making an announcement, or max by tomorrow, we shall be disclosing it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. So you have everything prepared for this, right? For the listing, for the decentralized and centralized listing. Everything will, and I'm thinking about the 6th of December. It means next week. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Next
also,
week, right.
We have another question from the live chat in YouTube from Abbas Khan about your core differentiation in comparison with competitors. So how do you differ? Arcade Network, how does it differ from competitors on the market?
Well, to be honest with you, we didn't find anybody. There's a research team also which is sitting behind and which keeps on doing its work well. We didn't find anybody who's actually implementing this thing or is actually trying to bring metaverse interoperability. We started off with the concept, with the idea. We even reached out. We did some surveys. We reached out to game developers as well. Some good names, from American society. We haven't really find anyone who is doing or trying to do the same thing. But I think for sure, crypto world moves fast. There would be many brilliant minds out there who now might think of this as we are mentioning about the meta bloom that is coming in. So I think who might now want to do this or might want to be a part of something similar. I see it as it could be a good potential partnership with them as well. To me personally, I think more than becoming a competition, if you join hands, you actually end up producing something huge.
So, yeah, and by the way, Martin from our community is writing that Altura is trying to accomplish the same or something similar. So maybe you should look at them precisely. Altura, I will send you the link, the name afterwards.
Sure, we might want to reach out to them then.
Of course. Chinka, maybe you can tell us about the token utility, because I believe you didn't touch this point. So what's the utility of the token within the platform?
Okay, so it's the token utility is basically there in the white paper, but then other than being used as the in-platform token, if you're using a token on the platform, you're getting hefty discounts on whatever transaction you are making. And even if these metaverses are paying us using the tokens, they're getting discounts. Other than this, there are gonna be token staking, which we are soon gonna be almost, there'll be official blogs which will be out soon. You shall soon be seeing that for the staking tranches as well. So token can be staked. Then you have, we even have burning mechanisms of the token. So for every inter-metaverse movement that a gamer does, a percentage of token will be burned to make sure that there's always a token scarcity. And other than this, pretty much staking, burning, and all these are gonna be, even for promoting the token holding, or for making sure that the token performs well, or people are holding it. We even as a part of our marketing campaign, we even did some partnership contests with the metaverses we partnered up with, wherein we actually, we actually came out with arcade NFTs. Now these arcade NFTs were nothing but people bought it. They bought it from our partnered Metaverse, Vulcan Forged, and now the plan is to basically ask them. So basically, these NFT holders will be submitting back these NFTs to the platform, and then they'll be provided the similar amount of tokens that they spent in, the similar worth of tokens that they spent in for purchasing these NFTs, and these tokens have its own vesting period. So that's how and when I say vesting period, they obviously they obviously can choose or opt to stake the tokens for that vesting period, wherein they are earning rewards on the token as well. So yeah, I mean, these are pretty much the things for token, for basically increasing the token utility. And yeah.
Perfect. So the staking will be implemented actually immediately after public launch, right?
Right.
Very good. Very good.
Oh, that's really very good, because it's important for the project to have additional utilities for those who can't, for example, use directly the platform or whatever.
There are vesting also which would be there. That's up to the investors if they want to choose out, or if they want to claim their tokens and take it out, or they also have an option of stake it at that very moment. So that's up to them.
And please remind us also what's the plan on the initial release of the platform. So it's rather, as I remind myself, it's next year, first month, January or something like this.
January end is something that we holded it on to. We wanted to launch it out. We wanted to launch out the MVP at least in December. But I think we will have to hold it on for considering, the year-end holidays, and we are approaching towards the end of this year, which everyone wants to just relax, and considering some marketing aspects of it as well, we have holded it down for the January. So yeah, I mean, somewhere in January mid or January end, we will be launching out, at least with our testing version, which also would be having some programs, some contests wherein, bug bounties and everything would be there.
Perfect. Okay. Chinka, before we have a couple of more questions before we finish, but one of them sent in Telegram community is really curious. So it is that rare in our sector to have a female founder of the crypto startup, Metaverse startup with such a tech savvy project. So do you face some complications due to this, or you find it as an advantage?
For being a female?
Yes.
That's what you're saying? Okay. No, I don't think, I mean, I never took it that way. Neither an advantage nor any challenges. I really didn't made any difference. I think the only thing that helped me, so basically, sometimes when you have your own journey, and then things, when you look back, then things make sense. So when I started off my journey, as I mentioned, I had been into core technology, but then eventually moved to business and consulting sites. I think being there as an implementer kind of helped me understanding my project well here. So that's something which worked in my favor. Nothing as such. I mean, I'm not a big believer of being a female founder or a male founder. A founder is a founder anyways. That's it.
Who knows? Don't consider this as an investment advice, but I think McKinsey and a couple of other companies, they made the research of different technological startups, venture-backed startups, male-led versus female-led. And they found out that female-led startups are 30% more profitable than male-led startup. It's not my word, it's the research publicly available. So, and it's not an investment advice, but I think it's quite a cool outcome.
Yeah, I feel I'm in the minority here.
You see that with Scaleswap as well.
Yeah. By the way, Stan, you're not in the minority, and we have question dedicated to you from Yasir Zaman. So about the IDO of Arcade one more time, since it is going to be only for private pool participants, does it mean that Anom will not be added to ScaleSCORE? Anom is the project that we launched a couple of days ago.
So all projects on Binance Smart Chain, including Anom, will be added to ScaleSCORE, but we need a bit more time for this. I believe that it could be possible also for Arcade Network IDO. If you don't have, I mean, if it will not be added till the launch of Arcade Network, then you will not lose anything because you don't have Anon. It's not accountant. You don't lose, right? So it's nothing what you can lose. Okay, you don't gain anything also, but you also not lose. But we hope that till the IDO, to the 1st of December, we will be able to account also tokens on Binance Smart Chain. This is, by the way, also a question of interoperability and multi-chain approach, because we have many chains, all EVM for now. And many projects, and every project has different representation of their tokens on different chains. And in order to make it properly, it's getting harder with every new implementation, let's say. Therefore, it takes a bit time, but it will be done. And I believe that we will be also able to do this before Arcade Network. So not 100%, but 95%, I'm sure.
Thank you, Stan. It's quite clear. Okay, so right now we promised you to be in 40 minutes, and right now I have the last actually question for you. Chinka, can you please envision how do you imagine Arcade Network in a couple of years' time? So where do you want, what milestone do you want to reach? What achievement?
I mean, if you're asking my imagination, then obviously it's a fantasy for me. And I think I totally believe that, if you look at the idea, if you look at how we have strategized taking it out, and even, this time ticking thing, or, this metaverse thing just came up very suddenly after the Facebook thing. I think it has a huge potential. So this idea is good, and we, like, the team is dedicated, they're hardworking, they're working day in, day out, and I see it as, something which could be the next big thing. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna say something bad about my project, but logically and putting in minds, if you see the thing, if you see the idea, there are even plans of, that's what we are working on now, and even plans of getting in some more partnerships. And when I say partnerships, not just the metaverses, they eventually would come to you. I see the crypto world is a world of, I should not say that, but it's a world of FOMO. When they see that somebody is following that, something, people come in. But I think eventually, leaving everything apart, some great minds are required to join the project. This had been like one little milestone, the coming up to your MVP, to your IDO or stuff like that. There are other things as well wherein you need hands to join you and take it to the next platform. And that's where we have already envisioned it, and we're going to take it to that level.
Okay, maybe I just what I have in imagination. So Mark is sitting with his Meta and making and using APIs of Arcade Network, maybe like this.
Yeah,
very big vision.
Very big vision. Yeah, I had the same one, but I didn't. I wanted to keep myself humble. So
okay, so but I spoke this. It's my, let's say, from the outside opinion from the outside.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so guys, ladies, I see we are in time. So I believe it was a great presentation. We asked a lot of questions. Chinka, also you explained the vision, the mission behind it, and the state of the project. And our community was very curious for the project. I must admit, everybody asked about Arcade Network, and so guys, just look the video and make your opinion yourself.
Not only watch the video, guys, but if you really want to support Arcade Network, don't forget also to click like and to share this video with your followers in your social media. And also don't forget to join Arcade Network social media channels, Telegram community, and others. And yeah, one more time, I remind you, every time I'm not tired to remind you that support is not only, you know, participating in the IDOs or working for the project. Even small attempt when you share the information about the project in your social media, in your Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, or whatever, is a huge support, because as Chinka said, it's about FOMA and awareness. And you know, if community really joins efforts and helps to spread awareness about the new startup, which with great potential, then you can save a lot of time and money for the startup on marketing, right? So don't forget to share your support. And Chinka, best of luck to Arcade Network, and please approve that female founders can do the difference. Yeah, good luck.
Now I'm gonna prove it. Since Nelly told me, I'm gonna prove it. Now female founders are 30% more profitable.
Please do. And we male founders will support you. This how we can.
Okay, guys. So take care and have a beautiful day.